sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS.
I want to share with you probably one of the most controversial things that I believe, and I'm going to say it out loud in public on the podcast for any of you that care to listen. And it may piss you off. And I'm okay with that because this is something I believe in the deepest part of my heart, and it's about sales, a subject that I've spent a ton of time and years and months and hours learning about, doing, training on. It's a very unpopular opinion I have, but my unpopular opinion is that sales, great sales, is not about selling. It is great sales is not about selling. It's also not about convincing. It's also not about putting pressure on people. Great sales has nothing to do with tricks. Great sales, the key to being great at sales is your ability to get other people to make yes or no decisions. The key to great sales is none of the selling pressure. It's not about your product. It's not about any of that shit. It's about your ability to get other people to make yes or no decisions. And I know that's crazy, but let's talk about that for a minute. When I first got into sales in 1492, or last century, as my children like to remind me, we had to learn a lot. I was in the banking business first and had to learn a ton about all the products that we had, all the different loan kind of things that we had, the deposits, the CDs, all those things. Had to learn a ton about that. And I needed to be able to share the features and benefits of those things with any customer that I had, because I was told that you got to know your product and you need to be able to share and sell the features and benefits. Right. And whatever that was, whatever the marketing department came up with, we had all this slick language that came right out of marketing, and you just need to go tell everybody what you did, and you give them all the information they need. And then they would say, okay, let me think about it. And then they would call you back or not. Right. And you were supposed to give them you need to do this now. This is the right thing. Press hard. Third copy's yours. And it involved making friends with everybody. It involved being friends with people, bringing people into my circle, and then pressuring those people to do what I needed them to do. Now, I had a pretty wide social circle when I first got into sales. It was the banking business in the early days in the commercial real estate business. I had a wide social circle. Those people were not business people that I had a wide social circle with. My father told me, Walker, you will never make a dime from people you meet in a bar. And I don't think he's that wrong from that. I don't think he's that wrong. But I used to think that I had to explain to people, that I needed to pressure people, that I needed to share the features and benefits and not take no for an answer. Because a great salesperson never takes no for an answer. I will tell you that phrase now makes my skin crawl. You do not want to be on the wrong side of the salesman doesn't take no for an answer. That's what gives salespeople that and other things gives them a terrible reputation. But I still hear this preached all the time. You can't take no for an answer. Bullshit. No is a great word. I hear it all the time. Great sales is getting yeses and getting nos and being completely okay with either one. See, here's the thing. In the old way, we were supposed to be excited about what we sold. We needed to be happy about it and excited about it. We were able to push that thing, and we believe with everything in our heart that was the right thing to do. Or maybe you didn't believe it, but you did it anyway, which is kind of sick. Right? Right now, in today's world, yeah, you need to know about your product. You absolutely do. But you need to know more than that. You need to know about your prospect. What are they trying to accomplish? What's the gap between where they are and where they want to be? Can you fill that? Do they have a budget? What does that look like? And then probably the most important thing you have to learn is, what are their decision-making criteria? What are they trying to, how are they going to make a decision, right? And what does that look like? So one of the things we talk to people about around here is, I do not believe in all of a sudden at the end of the sale popping up and putting pressure on people to buy. I think that's bullshit and it's ridiculous. Again, one of those things that gives salespeople a bad name. Here's what I want us to be: completely transparent about everything that we do, right? Completely transparent. And at the beginning of a sales call, what I want to do, what my clients do, and what I want to do is establish at the very beginning of the call, be that a cold call, be that a sales call or a second sales call, whatever, let's figure out what we're going to decide, yes or no, by the end of this meeting. So maybe in a cold call, what we're deciding is, let's figure out whether or not we should schedule a meeting. Let's figure out whether or not I should schedule a meeting with you and your boss or you and your CFO, right? Let's figure that out. And at the end of the call, if you're not sure you want to do that, or I'm not sure it makes sense, let's call it a no. The thing that salespeople need to do, all of you got to get better at asking for a no and pushing for a no and realizing that no should be your second damn favorite word. Do you know how much time you've wasted? Can you imagine how much time you've wasted chasing people that end up not buying from you? They use you for your free information, or you didn't get all the giant clues are out there. They're not going to buy from you. Maybe they had no malintent. Maybe your prospect had no malintent. Maybe they didn't know they were prospects. That happens a lot. People don't know that they're prospects, right? They start in a conversation. All of a sudden they figure out, holy shit, this guy's trying to sell me something. Let's be upfront with everybody. Hey, let's have a conversation. Figure out whether or not it makes sense to do this. Maybe at the beginning, maybe in your first face-to-face sales call or Zoom call or however you sell, let's decide whether or not we do X. And maybe that's sign a contract. Maybe that's hire us to do some kind of a study. Maybe that is take the first step, or let's decide whether or not you can endorse this product service to the board. Can you endorse it? Right? If you're not sure by the end of this call that you'll be able to say to the board or your CEO, this is what we need to do, let's call it a no. So it all starts with full transparency. Let's figure this thing out together. And when you know what the decision is you're going to need to make, and I don't care if it's a yes or a no, you have to believe that with every bit of your heart. I don't care whether it's a yes or a no. But at the end of the call, if they can't say, hell yeah, let's move forward, then the answer is no. Anything less than them being excited about it, we can say, look, sounds like it's not the right time. Sounds like this is not the right thing. Sounds like you're not excited about this. Let's not do it. I know it happens in the South. I'm sure it happens other places too. People don't want to disappoint. They also don't want to have you overcome their damn objections. And so instead of saying, yes, let's do this, or instead of saying, no, let's not do this, they say, well, let me think it over. Or I need to talk to these other people. Or, give me a couple of weeks. Or my partner's traveling in Europe. Or blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Oh, wait till the kids go back to school. Whatever the heck their excuse is. I want you to say, man, I appreciate that. Let's just call it a no. Let's call it a no for now. What I want you to do is recognize a no right now is so much better than a no in 2 weeks, 6 sales calls after you've dumped all this information. Because here's the thing. You've only got a certain amount of time on the planet. You've only got a certain number of minutes on the planet, right? And I'm assuming that you want to spend some of those minutes with your family, on vacation, doing cool things, or sleeping, eating, being away from work. So the more effective you can be during the minutes that you're at your office, during the minutes that you're working, the minutes you're in front of a prospect, the more effective you can be at getting yeses or nos, the more minutes you can use in front of new prospects who can tell you yes or no. I will thank someone if we have a conversation and we get the end of it and they say, look, I don't think I'm ready for this. I don't think I'm right. I don't think it's the right time. I don't think what you have is the right thing. I will say, thank you so much for telling me that. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Let's get it out on the table. Let's be done. It's okay. By the way, do you know how much easier it is to get back in to see somebody in 3 months or 6 months or a year if the last time you talked to them, you said, you know what? I think you're right. We shouldn't do anything. Or maybe even you come up with it first. Look, I'm not hearing what I need to hear to make me think you should do this. Let's call this a no. People are like, oh, that's a great trick. Tell them no so they'll have to feel like they have to say yes. No, bullshit. Tell them no because you know in your heart it's not the right thing. You're not hearing what you need to hear. No BS sales, right, is just getting to the truth quicker. Selling is not about convincing. Selling is not about pressure. It's not about tricks. Great selling is getting others to make decisions, yes or no, of equal value. I train companies and individuals every single day, every single week on ways to make sure they're getting either yeses, and here's what the next step to yes means, or no, which means for right now, let's part as friends. All is good. Maybe we'll talk again later. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. Go get yeses and nos. That's how you'll be successful.
Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you haven't already, please take 1 minute to write a quick review for the show. It really does make a huge difference. Also, subscribe to the show and please forward this episode to somebody else who needs to hear it. As a bonus for listening, I'm going to give you access to a free mini course, 7 expensive sales mistakes you're making and what you can do about it. Go to www.7salesmistakes.com and get access to the free mini course. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.